Welcome to another episode of Shift with Elena Agar. We welcome Scott Zimmerman to today's show. He's an entrepreneur. He's ran his own kind of successful business for many, many years now. With 3 decades of experience in sales and particular life insurance industry. And we talked a little bit about his career and business journey and how he started off as like minimum wage employee and then really got this passion and skill for sales and grew his business, which is doing very well today. And some of the things we talked about is around topics that are not very sexy in particular, like life insurance, long-term care insurance and so on. And being from Russia, like we live day by day. We don't talk about tomorrow. We don't think about insurances. Like I don't even know if we have such a thing as life insurance. But anyway, it's very interesting because I think it's all about educating ourselves. And one of the things I'm truly passionate about, especially in my recent years, is understanding a little bit more about financial literacy and how we can prepare ourselves in many ways. And I think as we look to shift our careers, as we look to shift our lives for the better, we need to be educated about the different parts of our financial health, essentially. So I found it really educational, interesting. He shares some information I just wasn't aware around, and it's just something to consider. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Whether you're looking to get into sales, whether you want to learn a little bit more about how to be better financially prepared for the future, especially if you have loved ones that rely on you. If you want to learn about just life insurance, which was new to me, honestly, in many ways, or just learning about entrepreneurship, I think this episode is for you. So check it out. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what you think. I'm always happy to hear from you guys and enjoy the episode. Thank you. Scott, welcome to the Shift podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to dive into your career story, entrepreneurship, business, the things that you're doing, things around topics that people might not be aware of. So we're going to dive into all of those things. I always like to uncover the misconceptions of specific business areas. So we're going to do it together with my audience today. But let's start off with just kind of like, take me back to, pre-corporate life, pre-business. I'm always curious to see like, what did you study? What did you thought you were going to be doing? And then what are you doing today?
That's a good question. I haven't been asked that in a long time. I've been doing the same thing for 35 years, but before I got into this, I had no clue what I was going to do. I was in school, like probably most people, and I didn't really have a vision of what I wanted. I just wanted to be like a businessman of some sort. But I just was, even in college, I was just a had minimum wage jobs and ended up getting into sales because there was a radio, there was a commercial that was on the radio while I was working all the time. And it said, learn how to be a salesperson, come to Tom Hopkins training camp or whatever it was. And I listened, I said, oh my gosh, I want to get into sales. So I went to this training boot camp, I guess you could say, to learn how to get into sales. And that's how I got started in sales. I was 19. I started selling alarm systems for a company. I knew somebody else that worked there. He got me a job. And then from there, I did that until I got into insurance.
Nice.
So, yeah.
What's interesting is that it is one of the top skills that are forever people talk about, like sales. They say like if you don't know where to start, or even if you know where to start, always go into sales. That's probably one of my biggest regrets because I've spent a lot of time in my youth. I've had a job since I was 15 years old, but it was only like customer service. And I guess there was some sales component to it, but it is one skill that I wish I would have learned earlier on because as I had to learn the hard way when I actually had to sell stuff in my business when I first started many years ago, not that many, but a few years ago, it's so hard. It's so much harder to get that up. So let me ask you this: what has been like? Because now your whole business is around like being a great salesperson at the end of the day, and I think there's this negative correlation to salespeople, but I heard something really good and they say, listen, salespeople are actually what drives the business, like every single business, like without the skills, without these people. So you guys are not like the bad guys out there, the salespeople, right? It's actually a very valuable tool for any organization and anybody. So what has been, as you learned sales, especially early in your career, what has been like super eye-opening for you? What's been, surprising to learn about sales in general? Anything that you can share with people who might be interested to go into sales?
You are asking me questions that have never been asked before. This is excellent. I think sales is, it's not about you're selling something, putting something down somebody's throat. It's more of you're helping them get something they want and need. I did that sales course so many years ago. This is like, 40 years ago, let's say, close to 40. Um, Sales are different than it used to be now. It used to be these hard closes and you'd have these certain things you'd say. Now I think it's totally different. I think the world has changed with internet and things that are happening. So I really feel, just when it comes to sales, it's doing the right thing, asking questions. With what I do, life insurance, long-term care, this is not something you can actually push down somebody's throat. It's almost like they're buying something because they want it and they need it and they want it. It's like my, when it comes to life insurance, it's you're buying it because you love somebody. And it's just, for me, it's asking questions and finding the perfect product to fit each person's wants and needs. So it's a little bit different. And, but back to sales, I think, gosh, the sales is what makes the world go round. Every single thing that happens, anything we look at, somebody has really most likely bought. So I think sales, whether it's marketing on the internet or through a salesperson or yellow pages, whatever it is, um, everything is sales. So
Mm.
I think it's a positive thing for every organization out there for sure.
Do you feel like it came naturally to you? Is it a skill you think, or was it like, are people born? Because I feel like some people are just really like they know how to have a conversation. They're really charming, and they just like and it's borderline manipulative, but it's not. It's so natural, right? And I always think like the best people, salespeople, there's a level of like charisma and manipulation in a way, but that's just the game. I feel, right? Am I wrong on that?
I think a lot of people do have a gift of gab, for sure, or they're charismatic or they're charming. But really, what it comes down to is, I feel, people like to buy from people they like and they trust. People who are authentic. And I think the world has changed. That's what I think people, or that's how people I think buy more nowadays. There's so many things where there's untrusting things happening in the world. So I think the like and the trusting is key.
Mm, yeah.
Building relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, building relationships as well. It's a lost art that I
Yeah.
feel very few are still pursuing, sadly, which is like makes it a lot easier for the rest of us who are still playing that game.
Right.
Let me ask you this: why life insurance? Why did you end up, going into that? Was it something you fell into, or I mean, now you spent 35 years, I think, in this field.
Right.
So, like,
Yes.
why life insurance?
In a nutshell, I come from a blue collar family. Um, we never talked about life insurance. It wasn't anything, I don't know anybody that was in life insurance really, except for I had a friend when I was in college. He went right out of high school into life insurance. So what happened was I was 19. I bought my very first car on my own. My dad co-signed for me. It was not a great car. It's a really inexpensive car, but I remember going home and thinking, oh my gosh, if something happens to me, my parents are gonna be stuck with this car payment. It was nothing expensive. But my parents were like paycheck to paycheck, always tight for money. So I said, I went to my friend and I bought a very small life insurance policy from him. So if something happened to me, my parents would be stuck with this car payment. And the following year, I was in college and I was in a finance course, and they were talking about saving for retirement, IRAs, and things like that. And I went to that same friend. I said, can I get an IRA from you? And he said, oh, yeah. It was like, it was nothing expensive. It was 25 or $30 a month, what I was putting in back then. He said, hey, you're getting out of school soon. You obviously like what I do. You believe this is 2 years in a row. He said, yeah, when I'm done, I'd love to look into it because I had no clue what I wanted to do. So he got me an interview. It was his dad ran the agency and it was a straight commission job. And I got hired and it took me many, many, many years to figure out this industry. It's hard when you're 22 selling life insurance or these expensive products. And, it was different than it was like, I just wanted to make money. I was really broke, right? I'm selling insurance, talking to my friends and family, and what friends at 22 want to buy life insurance? None, right?
Hmm.
But it was just a really, once I figured it out that it's not about trying to make a sale, but just trying to do the right thing for everybody. It took a little while, but it kind of flipped. It wasn't about making money. Like, let me just do the right thing to help each person, whatever their needs are. And that's when my life started getting easier.
Mm. You know what's
Yeah.
interesting is that so I grew up in Russia. I moved to the US when I was 13. We live day by day, like that we don't even save for tomorrow. It's like it's not a thing. Okay, so we grew up in a very mentality of just like we're just gonna, we'll make it through the day. We'll worry about tomorrow. I don't think we have such a thing as life insurance. I might be wrong. I haven't lived there since I was 13, so I don't think we have something like that. So it's completely new to me, which is why I was interested to chat with you because this is all about shifts in life, and a part of it is really growth and understanding. And this is no mean a push for people necessarily to buy life insurance, but for more or less to really educate because I'm not educated in this field. And like before we started recording, I told you, I said, I'm signed up somewhere. But
Right.
let's break it down for people who are like listening to this, like, listen, I kind of heard about life insurance. I kind of know what's important. Why is it important? Who is it important for? What is it like? What's the actual thing? Because also there's this long-term care part as well. So that's separate. Break it down for me.
Okay. It can be a really complex discussion, but I'm going to really try and simplify it. When people buy life insurance, it's really like I said, they love somebody, they want to protect somebody in case something happens to them. That's why they buy it. It's like strictly a love thing. You either love yourself or you love somebody else. A lot of people buy life insurance for different reasons. Spouse, children, parents, business partners will typically buy life insurance on each other so that if something happens to one partner, the other partner can pay off the other one's spouse. So they have that. So there's lots of different reasons, and I can talk a long time about why people buy life insurance and a whole bunch of different reasons why. And then the other thing is lots of different kinds of life insurance. I'm just going to give you some names just so you get that. There's term life insurance. There's whole life insurance. There's universal life insurance. There's equity index life insurance. There's variable life insurance. So there's a lot of different kinds. So there's not one that's right for everybody. So when buying life insurance, it doesn't have to be complicated. And I may be making it sound like it because there's lots of options. But when you deal with someone who knows life insurance, a professional, they can kind of help find the right one to fit each person's needs.
Hmm.
You mentioned long-term care insurance. It's a really, really hot topic right now in people that are in their 50s, 60s, because they're seeing their parents, their grandparents, they needed someone to come in their home and take care of them or go into a nursing home. That's what long-term care is. It's like being able to have somebody enough money to have someone come in and take care of you in your home if you need care or in a nursing home. That's what it
Hmm.
is. And if you don't have it, the issue is the government will make you spend all your own money before they're going to kick in and start paying for nursing care. They make you literally spend all your money down to almost zero, and then they'll start paying, but they're going to pay for a place you probably never want to be. So it's
Hmm.
not right for everybody. But if you have assets to protect, you have money. That's probably the best. If you don't have any money, you really don't need long-term care insurance. The government will take care of you. But if you do have money and you want to be able to pick and choose who takes care of you or where you want to go, that is why you have long-term care insurance to protect your own assets.
Hmm.
Uh, any questions on that? Say maybe,
Yeah, I
yeah.
do have a question because this is also a foreign topic for me because in
Mhm.
Russia, like we don't put our parents in care. They come with us. Even if we live in a one-bedroom apartment with our spouse and whoever, our parents live with us. But being raised in the US and kind of seeing how things are, I understand that and I mean this is a booming business in the US, right? Like the long-term care facilities and the retirement homes
Huge.
and these kind of things. It's a huge thing. It just keeps on growing. Again, foreign concept to me. I will never put my parents will always live with me. So like, etc. So what you're saying is that if let's say I'm a person who I'm not taking care of my parents, they're on their own. Let's say they have a moderate kind of savings account and maybe like a retirement account. And if they are not able to take care of themselves, they have a choice to go to put themselves in this retirement home, right? Or some kind of what do they call it? Like
Nursing, like
nursing, yeah, like
nursing facility,
nursing facility.
a whole
And
bunch of different names. Yes.
so, and if they can't afford it, like if they don't have any money, let's say they're just getting the basic like social security and whatever else, the government will take care of them. But if they do have some savings, they have to spend all of their savings first. And that's very expensive. I think it's like thousands and thousands of dollars every month
Thousands.
to be in this. And so they will suck all of that out before it will even kick in. But with long-term care insurance, you have that money.
You have like, well, you know, you have a buck, you're buying a certain amount that you want to, you'll have a certain amount to you design the plan how you want it. So
Mm-hmm.
some people you can pay for the whole thing, or some people just say, I'm going to take it out just in, in case I need it, and it'll cover most of it, maybe not all of it. You can kind of design a plan how you want.
Okay.
I want to mention something really important. Um, the issue with this is if somebody's married and if you're married and the unhealthy spouse needs care to go into a home health care or nursing care, it could leave the healthy spouse penniless and broke. Now, the
Mm.
government does let you keep certain things. They'll let you keep your home. They'll let you keep a car, wedding ring. I don't remember the dollar amount they allow you to keep as a couple, but it's something like it's poverty. It's like $2,000. They make you spend all your own money, so the healthy spouse could be left in a really bad position.
Mm.
So, in statistically, it's 7 out of 10 people will need some form of long-term care after the age of 65 for an extended period of time. It could be, a short time, long time. And I'll just give you one more statistic. I don't know if you have any questions, but
Mm-hmm.
these are straight statistics. Statistically, most people, when they have home health care, where they bring somebody into their home, it's on an average of 4.5 years. In a nursing home, it's an average of 2.5 years. Now, there's some people that live, a really short time. There's some people that live a really long time, but those are just straight statistics, and they're
Mm.
really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. And I don't want. I'm not. I I write a lot of long term care. I always say the same thing. I hope you never ever need this, because it's not a fun time, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
last thing anybody wants to turn on is this insurance policy to be in a nursing home.
Yeah.
But I always say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean it.
it's just, I mean, I mean, we can't predict if you never know. And like, I think when you're, in my age, like if you're in your 30s and late 30s, have a year and a half left. I keep forgetting that. When you feel like I feel like I'm still in my 20s, but then you're like, I'm pushing 40 soon.
Yes.
Anyways, and I think like when you're in a certain age group and you kind of feel good and you don't think about these things, or you don't even think like, about your spouse or the health or all the multiple things that can happen. And that's what any insurance is for, right? It's for the unpredictable, the
The
things we
what
cannot,
ifs.
what
Yeah, the
ifs,
what ifs in life.
exactly.
Right, right.
It's that peace of mind. No, it's pretty mind blowing to me. I'm curious if you have any statistics around like what's the percentage of Americans, let's say, who have life insurance and those who don't, or long term, like any statistics
I
about that
don't
number?
have the statistic. I have this one interesting statistic. You don't know about life insurance, but I'll just give you like this. There's term life insurance and there's permanent life insurance. So term, you're buying it for a certain amount of term. It's really inexpensive. You can buy it for 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years, and the rates will just stay level for that amount of time. It's
Hmm.
really inexpensive, but you're only buying it for a certain term.
And then what happens after that term? Like what, like,
Yeah, if you did like a 20-year term, which is probably the most popular type, the 21st year, the rates skyrocket because the rates will be level for 20 years, but then the rates go really high. So
mm,
people usually can't afford it, they get rid of it. And then there's permanent life insurance. And permanent is, if it's set up correctly, go forever. It can go to 120, 130, whatever you want it to go to. But on a statistic for the term, which is one of the most popular types of life insurance policy to buy because it's really inexpensive. It's like you're getting this insurance to take care of your loved ones, but it's inexpensive because it won't go forever. Statistically, it's less than 6% of those policies are ever paid on. They're ever
mm,
paid on because people are living longer. Sure, a lot of them are paid. A lot of them people pass away, things happen. But statistically, people don't keep them. It goes that 20th year, they get rid of it. But it's like almost like car insurance. It's there in case you need it.
mm-hmm.
But to me, the statistic may even be lower. I think it's 6. It could be 3. It's between 3 and 6% of any term insurance policies are ever paid on. So I think
Mm,
that's a really low amount of people that actually use that kind of insurance that it's actually paid on. So I
yeah.
find that interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting. What are
Yeah.
some of the biggest misconceptions people have about insurance, like life insurance and
There's a few of them. A lot of people, um, they feel that they can't get it. Like a lot of people don't look at it. No, I have high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol. I had I had heart problems or cancer in the past or whatever their situation. They just feel they can't get it or they can't afford it. It's a
Mhm.
total misconception. Gosh, it's never been easier to get life insurance if someone's got cholesterol or high blood pressure or they've had some issues. It's not it's not necessarily a problem, but it is totally people can get it. Another thing is a lot of people think it's really expensive. It does not have to be expensive. It can be. The longer we
Mhm.
wait, the more expensive it gets, but it doesn't have to be really expensive. So that's another misconception that I get is a policy going to pay? And really, unless there's something fraudulent on the application, there's really some really simple things. It doesn't pay if there's suicide in the first 2 years, and there's a contestability period for the first 2 years. If somebody passes away in the first 2 years, the insurance company has the right to say, did we miss something? This person
Mm.
said they didn't have heart issues, but we found out they had a heart attack and they didn't acknowledge it. So they just refund the money in the first 2 years.
Mm.
So the stuff, I mean, you would read things in the newspaper every day if there was actually these policies weren't paid. Like this
Mm.
stuff would be in the newspaper. You almost
Yeah.
never ever see anything because it's real stuff. It works.
So do the insurance companies then do like a comprehensive like look into you and your history before they approve you, right? Like, so like, right?
Most
Like
of the
the,
time, not
mm,
always, but with today's times, you can literally apply online, and while you're applying online, they're running your driver's license.
mm-hmm,
They're running an MIB, which is a medical investigative bureau. They're running see if you have any really major medical problems. They can run your prescriptions. So
mm,
that's what they're looking for. But sometimes you can get approval like immediately or within a week or two, or sometimes it could take months. It all matters what they're looking for.
mm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It is.
Interesting. Let's,
It's
yeah.
yeah, it makes it it's never been I want to say it's still hard. It's a hard business, but it's never been easier for consumers to buy life insurance than it is today.
Hmm. No,
Yeah.
I hear quite a bit. I don't know why it's been coming up on my radar quite a bit with life insurance stuff. I don't know, maybe my algorithm somehow after this conversation for sure, because my computer, my phone, everything's listening to me and watch. I'm gonna start getting a bunch of ads for life insurance.
For
Like,
sure.
I'm good. I already have a Scott. I have somebody I can go to. I don't need to go to these places. I'm telling you, I'm gonna start getting
Yeah. You will.
commercials and stuff, ads. Let me ask you this. So you've been in this business. You have your own kind of agency, right? So do you have a lot of people working for you? Do you work with partners? Like what does that look like? What does your
Yeah.
business look like?
No, thanks for asking. I have we had there was three partners up until about 4 months ago. I've had the same business partner Marty for I think 28 years now. We had one that was with us for over 20 and he just left. He wanted to get out of the business. He wanted to try something new after 20 years. But yeah, we have an agency. We're a small boutique agency. We have roughly 20 employees right now. Um, it's mainly servicing our existing business. We do have one more aspect to our business. We're really in Los Angeles. We're fairly large when it comes to employee benefits, health insurance for companies.
Right.
Um, so that's what most of our employees are doing. They're servicing our clients, and so yeah, we're just
Hmm.
a boutique agency and trying to I don't want to say we try. Everybody says they're all about service, but that's what we really are. It's
Hmm.
trying to never lose any clients. Want to be as helpful as possible.
It's a pretty competitive landscape with life insurance businesses. How do you make sure you differentiate yourself? Like, what are some things you as a leader, as a partner, are continuously probably thinking about to stay ahead?
I think one of our, and there's lots of companies out there that are similar to us, but what we are is we're not captive to any one insurance company. There's a lot of, and I'm just naming names because they're not all like this, but there's a lot of agents that are New York Life agents. So they're only writing New York Life. There's Farmers, there's State Farm, there's Allstate. They can only write their core business. Where at us, we're brokers. We're able to look at almost every company besides Farmers, State Farm, Allstate.
Mhm.
Those are captive, and we could find the right policy, the right company for each individual, because everybody's different, and I believe that there's not any one company that's right for everybody. So we're able to shop the market and always present the best thing for each client.
Mm. Does AI impact your business at all? Like, I mean, is it an enabler or is there something that you're worried about?
I think it's helping actually.
Mm-hmm.
I do think things are going to come out. This is a personal thought I have. You know, with the 23andMe and the Ancestry.com, where you
Oh my
could
gosh, I know.
see,
I
yeah,
my
you
stuff,
see like,
yeah.
what you're susceptible to and your genes,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's. I think that could be end up being, an issue later on for insurance companies to be able to see things that they haven't been able to see before by doing
Yeah.
it's out there. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's AI's made insurance easier. I don't want to say easier, quicker to get approval. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things like more efficient.
Mm. Yeah, speaking of 23andMe, I think that was one of the things is they're saying like because obviously they went bankrupt and now it's up for sale and a lot of insurance companies looking into buying that data.
Mm,
I did do
yeah,
23andMe. Supposedly, I deleted my data. I don't know if I did or not. I don't trust it, but it's out there. But it's interesting because you're right. Like they can take all that data and AI can essentially process it much faster and get information anyway, it's interesting. I mean, that's a whole like it goes into the whole privacy and etc. But then if you're applying for insurance, you probably need to be as honest as you can be anyway. So you really
right.
shouldn't be hiding stuff anyway, because it's gonna come bite you in the butt at some point,
Good, sure
right?
could. Yeah,
Right. So anyway, very interesting and
yeah.
scary at the same time. Yeah, I'm very cautious at how AI and all this stuff. We also have an AI business, of course, that we're building. So that's the conversation we continue to have is like the data, the issues that go into that, you know.
Right.
I'm curious, you know, as you're kind of looking at the next year to 2 years of your business, what are some things that you're you know, thinking about, worrying about, losing sleep
Um,
about, excited about?
I think it's really interesting. I think for me, I don't know how many years I have left. I want to work. I feel like you said, did you feel young? You feel like you're in your 20s. I'm 57. I feel like I'm in my 20s. I think you will too. I got a lot of energy. I got a lot of passion for what I do. I've never been more excited about my business than I have been today. What am I concerned about? I want to my business it's interesting. It's like there's so many people that get started in it, but most people don't last. It's a hard thing to get started in. So I really want to give back and help other new agents who or other new people that they haven't thought about life insurance. They think it's a negative thing. It's actually a positive thing. It's an amazing business. And I'm excited about helping new agents get involved in the business because there's not a lot of young people in it anymore. It's really interesting. When I was 22, I don't go to very many insurance meetings anymore, but when I was 22, I'd go to these insurance meetings, and I was like one of the really youngest guys. Now I'm 57. I go to insurance meetings very rarely, but I'm not the youngest by any means, but I'm definitely not near the oldest. It's like
Mm,
I'm still in the younger section, as odd as that sounds. So I feel with this business, the insurance business, I want to help younger people get involved in the business because it's a great business. You really just
mm,
help people. It's not just about making money. It changes lives for sure.
mm. I wonder
So
why that is. I mean, you don't see this as advertised, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of sales jobs out there. Like there are a lot of sales roles that people talk about. But is it because it's hard? Like the life insurance, like is that what it is? Competitive, hard?
I would say this is total personal opinion. I think it can be hard. It doesn't have to be
Hmm.
with the right training, but it's got a negative, when you get started, who do you go talk to? How do you do this? You don't know very much. So you're there a lot of the companies for the training that's really old school. It's go talk to your family and friends and talk to them about life insurance. And it can be a really uncomfortable talk. But I think people are taught the right way and go about it in a different way, a positive way. It doesn't have to be so hard. And
Mm,
people really need this. People really need if you love somebody or yourself, you really our products are there for that, and they're amazing.
Mm. I wonder if it's also because a lot of the young generations coming in, they're already lacking a lot of, not, I don't want to say lacking, but there's much less time spent developing the social skills, the relationship building skills. So we already see this as a big, obviously, challenge in the workplace where, especially Gen Zs, they just don't have their on their screens. They don't really meet people as much anymore. The social aspect of it is
Yes,
gone. And sales are scary to an extrovert, but
right.
let alone an introvert or somebody who didn't even have that exposure. And as I'm speaking now, I'm starting to get concerned because I wonder, like, if I want now, I'm wondering if there are any statistics around sales roles going down in general because there's just not enough talent that is coming
Yeah,
into those roles.
that's an interesting thought. I don't know. And the other thing is are people just buying things on the computer and buying things online without even really talking to people? You know, I'm sure
Yeah.
people. I think it's happening with insurance a little bit too. You
Mm.
know, and I'm not saying it's a negative thing. At least people are buying it and they're covering themselves. But yeah, it's definitely changing. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's interesting how that will adapt. I didn't think about that, but I'm curious about that
Yeah.
statistic. If anybody who's listening to this, please message me if you have any statistics around sales going down. Or now sales are down on TikTok, Scott.
Right.
So I think I saw something on, they're saying that marketplace on TikTok is going to be the place to sell products, services on. I forget the actual statistics, but if you go on TikTok, I'm super new to TikTok. I've been resisting
Yeah.
it for most of my life up until like a year ago. But they're saying that the marketplace on TikTok is going to drive sales of like products. It's going to take over the Amazon and etc. Because there's just because there's this personalized, because everybody's buying stuff from influencers, from people that are like them or whatever, whoever they follow and
Yes.
etc. So maybe that's the next thing for life insurance is maybe it's selling on TikTok, Scott. That's where it's
Maybe
at.
I think people are doing it, which is really interesting. And people are buying off TikTok. That's where my daughter is an artist. She paints,
Uh-huh.
and she literally makes all of her money on TikTok and Instagram into six figures selling. I mean, the world is different. Yeah, it's
Wild,
amazing.
right?
It's amazing. Yes, I
All right,
agree with
well,
you.
we're gonna need to talk to your daughter and see how we can how we can
Yeah,
monetize as well and what are we gonna be
she's
selling.
good.
I love it. Before I ask you my last question, where can people get in touch with you? I know you put out a lot of content and a lot of educational stuff around these topics that I think is super important for everybody to know about, whether you want to buy it or not. I think just being educated is where what I try to push at least is like the learning piece. So where can people get in touch with you?
Yes, they can check out our website, which is corpstrat.com, or they can email me at scott@corpstrat.com, or they can call me anytime, 818-481-9342. And I'm on all social media channels.
Awesome. I'll make sure to include all those links in the show notes. And the
Thank
last
you.
question I ask all of my guests is, what is one question you wish people would ask themselves more often?
Hmm. This is about my business or just in life?
It doesn't matter.
Life. Does it does what you're worried about right now really going to matter in a day, in a week, a month, or a year from now? So many people worry about things that are just not even necessary to worry about. And then that's what I would ask the question is because, by the way, I'm a culprit. I worry about things that are never happen. And if they did happen, they're not going to affect me anyway. That was my quick thought on
Yeah, like it. Thank you so much. Well,
that. Thank
Scott, thank
you.
you so much. You definitely educated me about life insurance and just that business and got me to think about certain things. So I appreciate you being here. And thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.